A woman was horrified to see her son walking briskly toward her, accompanied by a fugitive she had just seen on the news. Before she could react, the man grabbed her son by the neck and hissed in a low voice.
This needs to happen.
Terrified, she considered calling for help, but then she noticed blood trickling from the man's ear. Perhaps out of maternal instinct, she decided to comply with his demands to protect her child. On the way, memories of a news report about a murderer escaping from prison filled her mind, sending chills down her spine. Even when a police car passed dangerously close, she didn't dare alert them. Back home, however, Frank didn't lash out or harm them. Instead, he collapsed into a chair, exhaustion etched on his face, his eyes revealing an unusual mixture of helplessness and gentleness. He explained to the mother and son that he wasn't a monster and would never hurt them. He just needed a place to rest and promised to leave after nightfall. To shield them from the legal repercussions of harboring a fugitive, Frank pretended to tie Kate to a chair with a rope. His hands were gentle, careful not to cause her any pain. Perhaps out of gratitude or simple hunger, Frank headed to the kitchen and began preparing lunch for them. Since Kate was tied up, he went out of his way to cool each spoonful of food and fed her delicately. Watching this man's tender gestures, Kate found it hard to reconcile him with the brutal killer described on the news. Her son, Parker, observed everything from the side, feeling the same confusion. This man didn't seem like the ruthless criminal everyone feared. As night fell, Frank untied Kate before leaving, but police cars roamed incessantly, forcing him to stay a bit longer in search of a safer moment to escape. The next morning, Frank woke early and prepared breakfast for the mother and son. His thoughtful actions gradually eased the tension between them. Kate even brought over the rope voluntarily, but Frank declined.
We won't be needing that any longer. But if the day comes when you have to say I tied you up, you won't be lying.
His calm demeanor lowered Kate's guard. When she tasted the food he had prepared, her gaze softened. It was hard to believe that this rugged man could create such a delicious meal. To repay Kate and Parker for their hospitality, Frank began helping around the house. He fixed the car's fuse, chopped firewood for the winter, and cleaned every corner of their home. He even taught Parker how to play ball, his tone firm yet fatherly, as though he were mentoring his own son. The boy, who had grown up without a father figure, cherished this rare warmth. Kate's feelings grew increasingly conflicted as she watched this scene unfold. Perhaps this man wasn't inherently bad. Their once tense relationship began to thaw during their brief time together. While Kate carefully mended Frank's trousers, he noticed the scars on her legs and expressed genuine concern. But this fleeting peace was abruptly interrupted by a sudden knock at the door.